Everyone. Wow. Yeah.
I will call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Anything else?
Here.
Mr. Greedy?
Here.
Mr. Ribeiro?
Here.
Mr. Ruse?
Here.
Mr. Trainer?
Here.
Mrs. Mayor?
Here.
Mrs. Zazarino?
Here.
Notice of this meeting was provided to the Bernardsville News and Courier News, filed with the municipal clerk and posted on the municipal bulletin board on December 5th, 2024. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic of the States, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Welcome to the March 24th, 2025 meeting of the Bernardsville Borough Council. This meeting is being conducted in person in the council chambers in Brook, and it is being broadcast live on YouTube and on Zoom to make it as convenient as possible for residents to attend the meeting. Members of the public who are here in person and those attending remotely on Zoom will be given the opportunity to comment at appropriate times during the meeting in accordance with the following guidelines. Members of the public will be allowed to speak during the open sessions and during formal public hearings on the agenda, including public hearings on ordinances. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker, which will be monitored and enforced by the public clerk. Comments containing offensive, profane, or indecent language or language constituting hate speech will not be permitted. Remote participants will be muted unless they are unmuted by the clerk, and remote participants will not be able to unmute themselves. The clerk will mute remote speakers at the expiration of their 3 minutes of allotted time, or if they make any inappropriate or offensive comments. All speakers, whether in person or on Zoom, shall state their name and address before making their comments. Speakers on Zoom shall activate their cameras so that they can be seen by members of the governing body and audience. Failure of the governing body to provide a live broadcast of this meeting or technological problems encountered during the course of the meeting that affect remote viewing and or participation will not invalidate this meeting or any action taken, including but not limited to the adoption of any ordinance, resolution, or motion. Thank you for bearing with me while I go back. All right, because now we get to the good stuff. Chief, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the mayor and council and to Nancy for letting us make this process come to fruition. I'd like to introduce our newest officer, Sam Prater, to be sworn in tonight. Sam is 26 years old, graduate of Sparta High School, Sparta, New Jersey native. 2023, Sam graduated from the Ocean County Police Academy, and he served for the next year and a half as a Point Pleasant Beach special officer. But then was hired by Lambertville PD. Got gained some more police experience there before he's come over to us. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Sam. We want you to come up here, and I know Sam is accompanied by some family and friends up here today, and who's ever going to hold the Bible for Sam, I'd like to welcome him here.
You raise your right hand and then repeat. I sing Cyrus, I do solemnly swear.
I, Sam Prater, do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the government established in the United States and in this state,
and to the governments established in the United States and the state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
That I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of patrolman according to the best of my ability.
perform all the duties of the patrolman according to the best of my ability.
that I will not use my office to grant preferential treatment,
And that I will not use my office to grant preferential treatment
or receive personal gain, favor, or advantage not available to the general public, so help me God.
nor receive personal gain, favor, or advantage not available to the general public, so help me God.
Okay, remember?
Congratulations, folks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now go back in.
Thank you, Darrell, for showing up tonight. See you. It takes a picture.
How are you? Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all.
Sam, if you want one, very good. So you ready?
Yeah. Yeah, they're died. Started to take it under that.
All right, moving along, I have a proclamation for, Jerry Magdalena, who celebrated here in the fire department. I'm going to present this to him on, at the, event. Yeah, so, let me move it. Yeah, no, 50 years says it long.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive to do 50 years, so that's great. And I also am getting one from the Concord team. So maybe present. Moving on to minutes, we have February 18th and February 24th. Any comments, questions? Motion to accept?
Accept the minutes from the already 18th. Same.
All in favor?
Right.
Close the public hearing. Moving on to ordinances, I will open the public hearing on ordinance 2025, 2015 concerning sewer connection fees and sewer user rates and allocation of and amending chapter 16, God, I can't do Roman numeral of the Borough Code entitled Sewer Regulations. Anybody want to be heard on this? Councilman, I think we've gone through this quite a bit. I will close the public hearing. And start Gerson.
Move to ordinance number 2025-2015 in final reading and adopt as published.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Darrow.
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Jack.
Mr. Kramer.
Yes.
Mr. Mara.
Yeah.
Mr. Zazarino.
Yes.
I will open the public hearing on ordinance 2025-2016 calendar year 2025 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Anyone wish to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Ross?
I move to pass ordinance 2025-2016, final reading and adopt as published.
Second, 17.
16. 16.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Christine, second.
Roll call.
Mr. Zazarino,
Yes.
Mr. Merrill,
Yeah.
Mr. Trainer,
Yes.
Mr. Ruth,
Yeah.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. McCready.
Yes. I will open the public hearing on ordinance 2025-2017, a bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of new radios for use by the fire company of the Borough of Bernardsville in the county of Somerset, New Jersey, appropriating $300,000 therefore and authorizing the issuance of $285,000 bonds or notes of the borough for financing such appropriation, calendar year 2025. Anyone wish to be heard on this? I'm surprised nobody came from the fire company because I know they know.
Yeah.
I guess they know we're doing it. Yeah. I will close the public hearing.
Sure, I'm just making a comment for, really, I guess the paper's benefit. This is a requirement from the county to upgrade radios across all first responders, and so we previously budgeted for the police department, and now this is the fire company and first aid squad. So I move to pass ordinance 2025-2017 on final reading and adopt as published.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. McCready,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Ruth,
Yes.
Mr. Trainer,
Yes.
Ms. Zamara,
Staying.
Mr. Zazarino.
Yes.
And I should just mention, it was good collaboration with the fire department. We worked closely with Nancy to identify acquisition of the radios.
How many radios? A number of radios? But how
Do you have the exact number? Radio, rough radios.
If you don't know, it's fine.
I can't remember.
Oh,
I want to say 45.
Yeah, it was definitely around, I was gonna say 40, 41, yeah, so that's probably like.
Yeah, and we did find a better, less expensive, so I think we will be spending a right amount.
Yeah, I think it was, 272.
Yeah, through one of the co-ops.
Yeah.
We managed to save a little money on that. All right, moving on to introduction of ordinances. You want to introduce that, Kristen?
I move that ordinance 2025-2018, amending section 11-4 of the Borough Code entitled Registration and Maintenance of Properties Pending Foreclosure, to bring it into compliance with the recent court decision, be introduced by title, passed on first reading, published according to law, and that a public hearing be scheduled for a meeting beginning at 7 p.m. Monday, April 28th, 2025.
Okay. Questions, comments? I think Jack explained this all to us last week.
yes.
It's just getting the right language so that we don't get in trouble, which is a good thing. Yeah. All in favor? Opposed? All right, it passes. We'll have approval next month. Gina, we are rolling.
Okay, I move that ordinance 2025-2019, bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of a new ambulance by the Borough of Bernardsville in the county of Somerset, New Jersey, appropriating $350,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $312,200 bonds or notes of the borough for financing such appropriation. Be introduced by title, passed on first reading, published according to law, and that a public hearing be scheduled for a meeting beginning 7 p.m. Monday, April 28th, 2025.
I'm second.
Any discussion? No, I just wanted to see if anybody had any comments. Again, we had originally budgeted for this and then the radios came in and onto our agenda instead. So what we're doing is starting the process because evidently it takes almost a year to accept delivery. So if we get it ordered now, we will have it in next year's budget. We'll be able to do it, next year as part of our debt service. So
And the finance committee met with the leadership of the fire department, and they were really happy with this. This gives them the ability to go out and to basically have the conversation, secure the vehicle now, be able to be delivered next year. So it was another great collaboration, I think, between their leadership and council, mayor, Nancy, and the borough to come up with a solution. So, it's really, I know they had talked to a number of members of council about the need for, securing the ambulance, which we all were in agreement that we should, and so this gives her the right timeline to be able to do so.
yeah, and they did already purchase the cot, the one that is hydraulic or whatever,
Yes.
so they do have that, and so they're not, and that is one of the big issues is lifting people into the ambulance. This way it does it, the little machine already, so that already we have available to you, so that will help in the meantime. All right, all in favor? Opposed? All right, bonds. No bonds. Okay, James Bond.
No.
We have resolutions 2550 through 2571. Anything that's, anybody wants to discuss separately, I just want to comment on 71, Feeding Hands have been doing the Tuesday program. Normally, when the weather's nice, we move them over to Ammerman, because of we're not sure, but sometime probably in the spring, they will be starting construction. We're in the summer and we don't want to lose them, having this benefit for our residents. So I checked with recreation, the field house is open, they're gonna switch to Wednesday. And it's 3 to 5, and so, we will continue to serve the people that need it. But now when the King of Kings is no longer sponsoring it, so that they're just gonna come out on their own. And bring their own volunteers or any resident volunteers, well, and many people that can help the better, so. That's the only thing that got added since last week. I think the rest we've all talked about. No questions? Okay. All right. We're back to over at Jeff.
Yeah, I move the resolution 2550 to 2571 be adopted.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Zazarino?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor? Mr. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yeah.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. McCready?
Yes.
All right, Al, you did this.
Is that Shane, who's person to make comments?
Yes.
Okay. Introduction to 2025 municipal budget. I move that resolution 25-72 be adopted in a public hearing in the 2025 municipal budget. Be scheduled for a meeting beginning at 7 p.m. Monday, April 28, 2025.
Second. All right,
Okay.
open for discussion.
So, some comments. So first of all, we're gonna give a full presentation like we've done in previous year that kind of has a user-friendly version of the budget. At that budget hearing, we held it, thinking that attendance might be better on that evening. Seems like that is the right call. And, but I do want to just kind of provide, right, yeah. So, first of all, few thank yous. Want to thank my, a lot of work went into the budget over a lot of kind of accelerated time period, of course, the first few months of the year here. The mayor and Councilman Zazarino were on the finance committee and also a ton of work by Nancy and Leslie, our CFO. Really proud of this year's budget. I also think, I know Nancy does a great job of meeting with all the various departments and really gathering their input. But council also spent some additional time with certain members of the department when Nancy wanted us to talk to them, like Public Works, Library, Fire Department, First Aid Squad. We spent a lot of extra time with them, and I know, thank my fellow council members too. Each one of them spend time with me, so I could just kind of give an overview of this. But the high level, right now as the budget sits, which you'll be able to read through, we'll go into more detail in a month. No tax rate increase for the fourth straight year. It's really, it's either been remaining flat or gone down, but the actual rate is 0.5 altogether, that's including the library rate, and that's flat from last year. The borough valuation has increased for the fifth straight year, which we think really demonstrates positive momentum from the investments into the borough's value that we've been making as a governing body. Revenue has increased though overall, not just taxes collected, but overall revenue actually increased by 2.7 million. Now, that is really mostly due to the sale of the Audi dealership, and that revenue coming in. And then the rest of that is from sort of the kind of higher valuation plus the fees, et cetera, that the borough actually should be able to see in there, and we'll go into more detail. We had increases in non-discretionary items across the board, health insurance, salaries, utilities, liability insurance, so we're still able to keep the budget flat even with that. We increased the use of cash for capital purchases to reduce future debt services. We made key investments, such as investments in the public safety. We're gonna, talk about the new ambulance and the radios for fire and EMS. And we also had small increases in the allocation to the fire department and first aid squad. We fully funded the library request and everything that their board had asked us to do. And then I think we're all proud that we completed the sale of 65 Moortown, enabling the reduction of debt because we're gonna pay that directly into our debt service. And then obviously that'll be a new taxpayer on the roll as well. Obviously, there's still significant headwinds, inflation, et cetera, and state aid remaining flat. And just a reminder that this budget represents less than a quarter of what the actual municipal resident pays. Most of that is actually school and county, et cetera. So that's the quick overview. Happy to ask any, answer any questions immediately.
State health benefits went up hugely.
Not as much as last year,
No,
but. It's,
Yeah,
yeah, it's 17% or something.
I'm not sure it's that high, I thought it was 11, but I'll find out by the next meeting.
Yeah, well, I think it was. Slides, but it was, every year they really have been jumping that increase.
So Nancy, any comments? Anything else you want to add to that or anything like that?
No, just, the fact that this budget enables us to buy all of our capital equipment with cash. And so no debt, no new debt.
They actually make the same contribution to Main Street, you get $50,000. Supporting that.
Anything else? Yep.
Presentation.
Absolutely. And if anyone has any questions from residents, between now and next month, good job too.
Thanks, guys. for
Thank you,
coming.
good job. Yep.
Yeah.
And Nancy and Leslie and
Mostly.
mostly Leslie, yeah, she put in a lot of hours. All right, mayor's update.
Oh, we did a roll call.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we're doing the introduction of the resolution. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Ruth,
Yes.
Mr. Trainer,
Yes.
Ms. Zamara,
Yes.
Mr. Zazarino.
Yes.
It's introduced. Okay, now mayor's update. I had a meeting with Joe Torito, who is the new managing editor of New Jersey Hills, reached out, who will be replacing Liz Parker, who's been there, you might know, Charlie, but a long time. So it sounded exciting, a lot of new, they're looking at new ways to cover the news and asking for input, so I think it was a productive meeting. I attended the International Women's Day breakfast that the Somerset County Business Partnership sponsors, great attendance as they have every year. So really, they had the CEO, Robert Johnson, at Somerset. Okay. I attended the Somerset County Stigma Free Committee meeting. They will be holding, sponsoring a mental health conference on May 19th at Raritan Valley Community College. It's open to the public. It's not just for mental health workers. They cover a lot of good information. So if anybody from the public wants to go, I should have more information or flyers if you want to register. I have also helped them by, reaching out to other mayors in the county who haven't taken the pledge like we did and do the resolution, so we're trying to encourage more communities to sign up. As Al mentioned, we met with the fire company. They have been reaching out with the new chief, and I think we've made some really good progress in working together and communicating, and I look forward to continuing that momentum. I think, I don't know how many of you are gonna go to the dinner? Okay, okay. And they haven't invited the council, so I think that's very positive too. I think maybe they couldn't afford it, but.
They also brought their fire equipment, where we could check it out.
Yeah.
It's a meeting.
They have to do it.
Yeah.
So they have just been really great to work with. We had a Main Street board meeting. They're reworking the design, as you know, we were trying to do a park to commemorate, to memorialize Ed English over at the train station. New Jersey Transit turned down the piece that we wanted to use because it was too close to the tracks. So they were working on a redesign. It was somewhere over there, but probably closer to the sidewalk by the wall. And they also are offering storefront improvement grants up to $2,000 for local businesses to put in an application. To do any kind of small improvement in signs and landscaping, window displays, that kind of thing. So hopefully we'll get some.
What was that for?
Main Street. Yeah, it was part of the grant that they get from Main Street, New Jersey. That was one of the things that they put into their application. I attended the wake for Mark Tampy, our firefighter who died suddenly in a skiing accident. It was an incredible crowd. Must have been 500 people there, and so loved, so respected, so honored. Yeah, such a shame. Had a library board. They were asking about the budget, but they got their answers, so I think they're happy with the numbers. They're having some delays in the furniture and Formica getting made and delivered, so they may be closer to mid-May instead of early May. They've had supply issues with some of the books, but it's getting back on track. They're redoing their personnel manual. They asked me to remind everyone that April 1st is Giving Day, and the foundation would like to be your, where you put your donations. I'm on the committee for the New Jersey Conference of Mayors, so we're working on planning that conference. And actually, they opened it this year for elected officials, so if anybody wanted to go to the Conference of Mayors, you can do that. And then this past Friday, I had a League of Municipalities Legislative Committee meeting. And basically, I'm on tax and finance. What we do is review all the upcoming legislation and decide whether we want to oppose it or support it. So very thorough and productive process that the league does legislation. So that's been, we'll pass it on to Anthony. There's forget to give it to you. We have our administrators report.
Yes, so I just want to, let you know that you're correct, almost correct, it's 16.3% this year, not bad. Last year was supposed to be 24, but our thing go up this year. And that's fact.
16.3.
Yeah, so, yeah.
It goes to 24 million.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't remember it was that high. I remember. Raritan headquarters, has once again announced, that we do host the well testing event. So that would be the week of June 2nd to 9th. And as you know, residents, pay for and pick up and drop off their kids here. And so we do some things that are paid. I don't know if you need like a motion. For that to do that.
Practically, you have consensus.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Done the whole.
Yeah, they do it every year.
Yeah, okay.
And it's pretty popular, I think, isn't it?
It is pretty decent. Unfortunately, DMV has postponed their mobile unit. They're gonna let us know when they have it. And, St. Bernard's Church at the, parish house, what, agreed to host. So that's a very central, a nice location. It's much. Yeah, they have the bathrooms there, it is very nice. There are various landscaping projects, going on at the, or will be going on at the polo ground, and spring is here. I know I was asked about the pole that leads to the parking lot. The contractor's going this week to fix, restore the grass, do them. The DPW is restoring the area around the crosswalk former, and they will be repairing the baseball field. We agreed to pay for that last year. Unfortunately, the clay they needed, there was a delay, so we didn't get that permanent field. The timing is not great, but. And earlier tonight, you awarded a bid to Leffler Pools for pool management. And anyone interested in applying to be a lifeguard, the pool company has said that they would, interview the people who worked here before. Because obviously they have the most familiarity with the pool, so anyone interested in applying to be a lifeguard this summer should contact the recreation department, who will put them in touch with the people at the company. And Mayor, I don't know if you wanted me to mention this about the street.
Oh, yeah.
You want to mention?
I actually, we talked about, having the proclamation for Tony Hajar. And one of the things we wanted to do was plant a tree at 251 Claremont, because he really invested a lot of time in making that park, getting the house taken down and, making it into a nice area for people to hike. So, what I did, I reached out to the Shade Tree Committee and asked them to give us input on what kind of tree, when's the best time to plant it, so that, it's hardy and it's gonna complement the area, so. When we're ready to plant, I think we'll do the proclamation then and maybe a little ceremony at the planting, rather than just have a proclamation now and then plant something later. And kind of a little ceremony, we can invite his family. So as soon as I hear back from Shade Tree, we can what's best, let's do that. Yes, thanks for reminding me.
That's all.
Anybody have questions for Nancy? Loeffler Pools is, where else are they,
Well, on the references, they put, I know they do Cup National, they put them as a reference, and,
Fiddlers, well, like, I've had kids who go left there.
Oh, good, okay.
They seem pretty good, I mean,
Excellent.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't read the bid, so it's good on there.
yeah, I don't remember the other two towns they put down. I know they work, at a country club in Scotch Plains, they've all heard of them from that. And, is it Mendham? I can't remember the other towns, but they apparently have, a lot of municipal funds is what.
Great. Oh, they're regular, so do I have a motion to accept the department reports?
Motion accept monthly reports.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Correspondence, we did hear back from them, that, if you recall, we wanted to add the Miranda Crest. They were okay with that?
They're okay with that for next year, I said this year would be too late at this point, but they would definitely, get it for next, for 2026, so.
Yes.
If someone goes to any event and picks up their materials, they can go to that area, if they want to.
Yep.
So, I'll propose that. I usually do at my site and the other site units can do the same, but basically any area of town that's near the stream is fair game, so.
Yeah.
We always suggest that every year anyway. And to have Moraine Crest as a meetup spot would be tough because there's really nothing there. There's no
Parking.
there's no area to them. There's no-
Yeah, being a park on the site, like the streets, vast majority of being a park on like the back streets there.
Yeah, so just as if there's somebody in your, reaching out that really wants to go in there, there's not, it's not off limits because obviously it's 3 acres, so you can go in there and clean up. You just can't get your material and stuff like that there.
Okay. That's like my neighbors, I'm maybe working this.
That'd be great. I was having to hop on the people that throw their garbage down the hill from the other side.
People driving by, it's.
Yeah. All right, unfinished business, any unfinished business? Yeah, we do have some new business, because, the request from the Somerset Hills Ball Club came in after our meeting on Monday. They do this every year, usually the first Saturday of April anyway. They start. So we started the parking lot on Berners Ave. Go down, was that West Street? Over to Kiwanis for the first games of the season. It's always a fun thing. If you
My
have.
son will be there.
Yeah.
He's great people, so
Nice.
he's only 4, but he's really into it. Yeah.
It's a fun day, it gets the kids all excited and they march with their little banners and it's really a nice little event. So if you're around, stop by.
I may assistant coach, I'm gonna stand back and give my first go around. Definitely next year. Yeah.
So are we good with that?
Yes.
Yeah, then the police can report. So I think they're fine. It's our second open session, so if anyone in the public would like to comment. Seeing none, I will close the public session.
So Mayor, I just want to take a quick second to, plug the blood pressure screening that's happening next Tuesday, April 2nd from 12:30 to 1:30. And they have 2 more, also another one on the 8th at the Birds Township Library from 12 to 1, and on the 28th, again from 12:30 to 1:30. But that one will be at the Peanut Stone Borough Hall. So.
Yeah. I remember getting a flyer. Isn't it just also just doing around of those? This is the second time I think I'm doing them, which obviously they must have gotten a lot of.
And they got, they were asking us to kind of help.
Yeah. Anything else? All right, do I have a motion to close session? Personnel items and we will not be coming back. Harley, do you need anything tonight?
Total amount of the budget.
Oh,
Yeah, it's around 18.
no, it's a big show.
What's gonna be on our website tomorrow?
Yeah, well, it was 18 this year. 21.2 is the total.
21.2.
Raise from taxes is, is 14.
You can send me it out.
The easy.
I will, yeah, I already started to
The
do this
user
website
friendly
for you,
No, the regular budget, man,
so I'll make sure that's there.
because I don't,
I'll give you the exact number in there.
User friendly.
no, I think the auditor,
I think so, but it'll be up there
yeah,
eventually.
yeah, it'll be a definition.
So-
It's not very easy.
It's not. It was a big joke, but it's not, yeah, it looks just like the user.
To adjourn to executive session to consider personnel matters.
All in favor? Okay, thank you, Charlie.